I know fans are aware how loving and caring the boys of BTS are. We also know that these 7 talented boys are very considerate of people around them and treats them with manners, so whenever a member reacts rather unenthusiastically towards a certain person, ARMYs know there is without a doubt something about that person that makes BTS feel uncomfortable. When it comes to V, he seems to be the member who has it best when it comes to judging people's personality. Call it sixth sense or whatever, but TaeTae can definitely see through a person's facade if there is any. You know, that one friend that tells you whether you should hang out with a person or not? That's exactly what TaeTae is, as he usually has a radar for those who he thinks he and his members should avoid. Don't get me wrong, V is anything but antisocial. ARMYs know that V is one of the funniest and loveliest among the boys. But when people around him make him uncomfortable or just when people don't treat them nicely, V never fails to make it obvious that they should move away. Okay, let me bring you some scenarios where V encountered people who did something he didn't like at all. May it be something they say, or something about their attitude, or even just Tae seeing through their hypocrisy and insincere behavior. You can expect them all. At number 1, let's first talk about that time they appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
We're back with BTS, and first of all, let's have introductions. Introduce yourself.
Okay, we all know the host/comedian has a reputation for herself, and it's not very good all the time. This was very obvious when she interviewed the boys, and to say that the questions she asked was inappropriate is an understatement.
You taught yourself English?
Yes, I taught myself English.
How did you teach yourself English?
During the interview of her very controversial show, she asked BTS questions no one would dare to ask, which include whether the boys ever dated their fans.
Have you ever gotten together, hooked up with any of the ARMY?
I bet she didn't do her research because asking a K-pop idol about dating, let alone dating their fans, was almost like calling for haters to come to her doors. It was very obvious that the boys were taken aback as well and started feeling rather uncomfortable after the question was asked.
아미 팬들하고 데이트를 해본 적 있거나 사귀어본 적이 있으신가요?
Explain what hooked up means. Come on.
V, out of all of them, was seen looking a little serious.
Not.
그죠?
No.
And answered the question shortly but direct, no. It seemed like the members also noticed how annoyed their fellow member sounded, so they tried making the atmosphere lighter by joking and laughing. Turns out Tae's vibe check was totally correct, because years later, Ellen was caught up in a controversy involving rude behavior and mistreatment of her employees. Do you think V's radar was on point, or was this just a case of coincidence? Let us know in the comments down below. Let's move forward. In number 2, that performance they did with Lil Nas. Okay, they are certainly not about Lil Nas because I believe the boys have nothing against him. This is more about the fact that the Grammys, despite how successful BTS as a group by themselves, decided to make their performance on the award show a collaboration. I know that ARMYs were excited after finding out that the boys are finally invited to perform on such a grand international award show, but if not all, then most of them were disappointed to find out that the boys of BTS were not having a stage for themselves alone. Even other music analysts and Lil Nas himself pointed this out, so it's not just ARMYs who are complaining. Well, I think it was only expected that the boys are disappointed, as well as they were reportedly not very happy with the situation, especially our boy V. Even during rehearsals, V can be seen rather sullen as the boys go through their routine. Some even went far by saying he was not very pleased by the fact that the boys are sharing the stage with another artist. Of course, there is nothing personal against Lil Nas. Fans speculated that V was upset with the Grammys because he knew how hard he and his members had worked hard to be where they are today, and that they also deserve to showcase their talent and skills to such a large audience through a performance that could only be made by BTS alone. At number 3, we have Melanie Fontana. If you think the previous one are just another case of coincidence or just a bunch of speculation by fans, this one right here is a bullseye. Even before Melanie Fontana was involved in a scandal, Tae's vibe check already saw it coming, since he certainly did not like this girl.
싫어요.
Lo and behold, V was correct for not liking her because she later on discredited the boys and claimed that she was the one who actually wrote BTS's song Sweet Night. As if this was not bad enough, she went on every interview and claimed sole credit without mentioning any involvement on the composition by the members of BTS. The audacity, right? Of course, they made ARMYs angry, but it seems like Melanie was not fazed at all, because instead of making a proper apology, she went on with her merry way and kept defending her statement with her silly excuses. In the end, ARMY asked that she never work with the boys ever again, which I believe V would gladly like. Moving on with number 5, Charlie Puth. Way back 2019, Charlie Puth and BTS attended the MGA Music Awards, where he was seated next to the boys, which would naturally lead to interactions between them, right? Well, it was all happy and okay, until fans noticed how uncomfortable the members were around him, as he tried to act all friendly with the boys when, as a matter of fact, he had barely met them. This, of course, did not slip Tae's vibe check, as he can be seen looking rather uncomfortable towards the singer, who was trying to get too close with them. Even how V was seen smiling through the show as he tried to remain professional, his discomfort can still be seen, and fans can't help but feel about the idol. Number 6, Emma Stone. This beautiful actress did not receive any bad score from ARMYs the first time she met the boys, since she was very nice towards them during that time. But things went a little astray when she went and visited the boys backstage. For those who are not aware, Emma Stone was actually a big fan of Kpop, so it was expected that the boys are happy to see her, and honestly, they look rather okay in the picture, while many of you might be wondering where it went wrong. Well, she did not pass V's vibe check. In a video after Emma Stone visited the boys backstage, it can be seen that V has a look on his face that didn't look very well, if you'd ask me. Some might say that fans were just overanalyzing things, but at the end of the day, it can really be either of the two, right? Well, what do you guys think? Last but definitely not the least, Lele Pons. This happened when they performed on the American Music Awards and after the show. It was only expected that many artists will want to see the talented boys of BTS just to have a chit-chat or take a picture. While a lot are genuine with their support and admiration for the Korean boy group, who made history with their performance. But of course, there were people who just went with the flow and asked for photos with the boys without really knowing who they were. That was definitely who Lele Pons was during that night, as she asked for a photo with the boys, and to say V was not amused in the photograph she took was an understatement. You can definitely see how uncomfortable Tae was, and even though we admit that what happened during their exchange, fans are aware that when Lele asked for V's phone number, the BTS member, because of what they assumed as a mistranslation, gave their manager's phone number instead because he thought it was for professional purposes, which ARMYs and even Lele found funny.
그러면 그럼 제가 하겠습니다.
Well, at least she had the phone number, right? Okay, what do you guys think? Do you have other celebrities that you think will not pass V's vibe check? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more. Hit the notification button so you won't miss an upload. See you next time. Bye!